Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to dive into all things balance training. What does that mean in a conventional sense? What do I think we should redefine that as? What are limitations with how we conventionally do that sort of training? But first and foremost, if you are not already subscribed, please do me a huge favor. Go below if you like the video and press the subscribe button before you leave. If you are currently a subscriber, I really appreciate you guys. Please just do me a favor and share this video with a friend or a family member who might be helped out by this video. Now, without further ado, balance training. Typically what we're looking at is things like standing on an Airex pad or a Bosu ball. We're looking more so the route of unstable surfaces. And now my main issue with that is that's not very specific to what we actually need from a balance standpoint. Now that might sound stupid. You're like, okay, well, I'm balancing on these unstable surfaces. I'm being forced to balance. Well, let's dig a little bit deeper into the principles of what I think will actually help us improve outcomes from a balance standpoint. And I guess first we could talk about who is this really going to be helping? So typically we're kind of looking at two categories from a balance standpoint. We're looking at one, people who are in an aging population. So like more of a longevity focus. We're trying to just not fall over, right? We're trying to keep our balance so that we don't hurt ourselves, or we can just keep doing basic activities of daily living. Next category is going to be sports performance. So it could be a running back or receiver not falling over after contact. It could be driving to the basket in basketball, not falling over with contact. Maintaining our balance in a more chaotic, uncontrolled environment. That kind of be the other end of the spectrum. I think the root of improving those things is going to be with actually understanding the main focus areas I would like for us to look at from a balance standpoint, and also making sure they're more specific to what the sport actually is. Circling back, I don't like unstable surfaces from a means of training balance, especially from a longevity standpoint, or from a standpoint of just training aging populations, because I don't think it actually helps us do much at all. I always think of this example. I was in a Gold's Gym in an undisclosed location on the East Coast, and I remember watching this trainer who probably had, and this is not me shit talking a trainer, this is me just giving an example. This trainer had a client who was clearly new. It was probably their intro session, and they were going back and forth between doing lunges on a Bosu ball and squats on a Bosu ball. And it was just the ugliest, most, knock-kneed, shaking, falling all over the place. And I'm like, dude, this person can't even do a lunge or a squat on solid ground. Why is making the surface more unstable gonna help them? And we look at kind of the fundamentals of what balance is. We can almost say balance is synonymous with stability, which would be our ability for us to resist force, one may say, which means we probably need some sort of requisite baseline of ability to produce force in order for us to stabilize ourselves, right? So first and foremost, the foundation of being good at balancing, whether we're an older adult or just looking for a longevity, is going to be movement quality and having muscle that has strength, right? So if we have more muscle and we have muscle that is strong, we're probably gonna have better movement quality as well if we do the right things to get to that point. So all that to be said, let's just do like a lunge with our feet on the ground too. That's gonna be more specific to what we're trying to get from I always look at with sports performance, what is more sport specific. Now with typical longevity falls, whatever we're training this for, we're not doing things on unstable surfaces. Usually we're not getting a lot of our slips on ice, right? Like I could slip on ice even if I'm a very high functioning human being. What I'm looking to do is make sure I'm not falling over when I'm going for a walk or walking up and down stairs or stepping over a curb, right? So doing things are going to improve, one, our baseline strength, and also our spatial awareness. And muscles are sensory organs. So if we're doing things where we are training muscles to get stronger and we are overlapping that with underlying movement qualities, can I squat, can I lunge, can I hinge, especially from a stability standpoint or a balance standpoint. Doing things where we're more in like a split stance or single leg basis support. So split squats, walking lunges, single leg RDLs, B stance RDLs, step downs, right? Those are all going to be things that are going to help us challenge balance or stability, and that's gonna be more specific to what we're gonna see in our activities of daily living. Or in terms of sport, a lot of similar positions, right? Like more on one leg, split stance, whatever it is getting really, really fucking strong. There is probably gonna carry over a lot to our ability to express that when we're actually playing sport. Wrapping that all back together, let's stay on stable surfaces, right? Let's just stay on a stable surface. Let's make sure we can get really strong, because inevitably that's the other issue, is even if we are strong and we're good at standing on a Bosu ball, we're gonna be limited by some capacity of loading always, right? So am I gonna probably have a higher ROI if I go from doing a split squat with a 50-pound dumbbell in each hand to a 100-pound dumbbell in each hand? Or am I gonna have a higher ROI if I go from doing 50 on solid ground to doing 20s in my hand on a Bosu ball? It's like probably me just getting stronger in split stance, or me making the movement more dynamic in terms of like getting more movement and feedback in space, like moving that from a stationary lunge to a walking lunge. That's how I would look at us doing better balance training. I would make sure we just have basic movement qualities. Can we do things with a limited base of support? Again, split stance stuff, single leg stuff. Can we get strong there? Can we maintain that as we make movements more dynamic? That should have carryover to us being better balanced, right? We're gonna move better, we're gonna be stronger, we can resist force better, we're gonna have better tools from a motor control standpoint and getting sensory feedback from our muscles as we move through space. Those are probably the things that are gonna help a lot more than us doing, like geriatric Bosu ball holds for time, right? I don't know. I'm not even sure what we're doing exactly anymore, but that's what we're really looking for, right? We're looking to do things that we're gonna actually challenge true balance, things that are gonna have an element of force, an element of spatial awareness, or some sort of challenge to motor control or sensory feedback. If we're doing those things, we're probably gonna get better balance. So putting a bow on that, if you guys like content like my YouTube and you want to get more access to things like case studies of my clients, bonus content of things I do like on here, head over to the website and click on the advisory portal. It's only $9.99 per month. Press the description below, or look at the description below. I'll have a code in there for you guys to get the first month for free. Also, thank you guys as always for watching, and if you have any future topics, please let me know below. Thanks.